Let's transition. And I want to talk about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens here for a minute. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Miami Dolphins 56-19. And so watching this matchup, for me, my biggest takeaway is Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP. And coming into the season, I chose Lamar Jackson as the player who I felt like was going to win NFL MVP. And Lamar Jackson has been balling over the last 2 weeks for the Baltimore Ravens. And he's been playing some great football. You look at his numbers in this matchup. Lamar Jackson, he goes 18 of 21. He throws for 321 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, the perfect passer rating. Literally a perfect passer rating, right? And so it got me to thinking about those individuals out there who were questioning how good Lamar Jackson really is. Because there's some people who have said over the last 2 years, they've said, I don't believe that Lamar Jackson is a great pocket passer. If you're still doubting Lamar Jackson as a pocket passer, I'm no longer going to talk football with you. And some things I'm no longer arguing about. I'm just not. I'm not. NBA. I'm not a LeBron fan whatsoever. But it is undeniable how great LeBron James is. And it's also undeniable that as great as other NBA players were, no one prime lasted longer than LeBron James' prime in the NBA. So I'm not arguing with people who try to take away from LeBron's greatness and try to critique LeBron. I'm not even arguing with you anymore because it's proven that LeBron James' prime lasted longer than any other NBA great. Okay? And so it's certain things just in life that I'm not arguing with individuals over anymore. Also, it's proven data that children in homes, when they grow up with the father in the household, it's proven data that those children usually have successful lives. So don't tell me that a single mother by herself is better than having a father in the household. That's how I feel about Lamar Jackson now. That's how I feel about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, as a pure pocket passer, is one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the AFC, but in the NFL overall. You look at Lamar Jackson's impact on the Baltimore Ravens. This is since 2018. With Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens are 62-24. Without Lamar Jackson, they're 4-8. With Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens average 28 points per game. Without Lamar Jackson, they average 17 points per game. With Lamar Jackson, the Ravens' passer rating as a team is 95.2. Without Lamar Jackson, is 70.0. Folks, at some point we have to acknowledge and understand who the real MVP is in the NFL, and the real NFL MVP has stood up in these last 2 weeks in 2 big-time games against the 49ers on Christmas and against the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson, the real NFL MVP, has not only played at an elite level, but the NFL MVP race is officially over. It's over. All the Brock Purdy is the MVP and Dak Prescott, give me a break. Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP. And I said this after the Ravens beat the 49ers on Christmas. We watched in real time the difference between a game manager and a game changer. Lamar Jackson is a game changer. And Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens should be Super Bowl favorites. And they should be the favorites to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. He's playing better this year than Patrick Mahomes. He's playing better this year than Josh Allen. And he was playing better this year than Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow had a season-ending injury. He's different. He's different. And I feel like the only questions about Lamar Jackson that remain is how will Lamar Jackson perform in the playoffs? And I look at Lamar Jackson's numbers in the playoffs. They're not great. In the playoffs, Lamar Jackson, he has 4 total touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He averages 92 rushing yards per game, 225 passing yards per game, completing 56% of his passes. His record as a quarterback in the playoffs is 1-3, and his team points per game in the playoffs are 13. So he has to get better in the playoffs. We know that. Like, that's the only question you can have when it comes to Lamar Jackson. How will Lamar Jackson perform in the postseason? But besides that, Lamar Jackson has proven that he is not only the franchise quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, but he's the best quarterback right now in the NFL. And he's on his way to winning his second NFL MVP. So the MVP is officially over. The race, it's done. Lamar Jackson, he damn well and sure should win NFL MVP. And in the playoffs, the Ravens, they're going to be the number 1 seed. So the road to the Super Bowl is going to have to go through Baltimore. It's going to have to go through Baltimore. But the Ravens do have a lot of pressure. They got a lot of pressure this year because this is the year for Lamar to get to the Super Bowl. Like this, the floodgates have opened up for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to get to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes and his receivers can't get on the same page. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they're inconsistent. There's no Joe Burrow to have to worry about in the AFC. So this should be the year where Lamar and the Ravens get to a Super Bowl. The only team I would say the Ravens have to worry about in the AFC, as crazy as it sounds, is the Cleveland Browns. Because I believe the Baltimore Ravens, they don't want to see the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs, folks. They don't. They don't want no parts of having to play the Cleveland Browns. Because I think the Cleveland Browns could beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore in the playoffs. But, again, Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP, and the Ravens should be the favorites to come out of the AFC and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're the best team right now in pro football, and Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in pro football.